Good morning, guys. I wanted to give you a chance to check out some of the options you have for formatting your paper on Google Drive. I also wanted to show you how to correct some of the suggestions I've made on your previous papers. So what you're taking a look at on the screen is actually a student submitted paper. I omitted the name, but this is a paper that actually scored pretty well. You can see the grade down here. This was from our concussion essay that we wrote prior to Christmas break. So what you see here is the typical things. You can see that I have highlighted anything in blue that may need to be corrected. If you have a larger problem, I've highlighted it in yellow. If you didn't know how that worked, if you click on what's highlighted in yellow, it'll pop out over here what the correction is. So this looks like they have changed the font. Okay, if you click here, it'll pop up that oh, it doesn't have a yellow box, but over here there's something wrong with this word, and the problem is that they have misspelled it. Allowed should be spelled aloud here. How they had it spelled was allowed, like to speak aloud or to recite a poem aloud. So they've corrected that. Now that I've corrected it though, I want to go back and highlight it, and I want to change the font back to black so I know that you have made the correction. Okay, same thing here. Once they have changed the font, I can actually mark that as resolved, and it'll unhighlight it. Okay, so same things here. Do the NFL not covering the cost of concussions? Parents should be responsible. That's kind of confusing. You notice that's why I put the question marks over here. So they may want to correct this by saying, instead say, is the NFL not covering the cost of concussions? Is she asking a question? I don't know. If that is a question, I put a question mark there and go back here, and if I think I made the right choice, I'm going to go back and change that to black. Okay, and then if I'm going to make this parents should be responsible, if that's the second sentence, I can go back and mark this resolved. Okay, and that'll take that away. So we can go through and make all of those corrections. Here we see concussions is spelled wrong on concussions. Okay, that's resolved. All right, and the problem was actually you needed quotes there. All right, crucial call and concussion, so I resolved that by Joe Frollo. You don't need the quotes there because that's the person's name. Okay, that's their quotes, so then the quotes need to come here. All right, football is, okay, that's space there, is a concussion. Okay, and I can go back, change the font because now that is correct. Okay, there is one more correction here. Remember, we don't need to put the web address when we cite it. Okay, so this looks fixed now. All right, so that's how you fix a paragraph when I make corrections. All right, then just to kind of go over a couple of things, notice here she has double spaced. All right, if we need to double space, we go here with the paragraph with the lines. Okay, and we would actually want to click it to double. Okay, and we would want to do that here as well. Make sure the whole thing is double spaced. All right. So now that is double spaced, perfect. Okay, notice we have a little bit of change in font here. Okay, so we can go and make sure that that's all Arial. Is this Arial too? That actually switched fonts. So we can go through and make sure that's all Arial. All right, so notice now that all looks the same. All right. Pretty much that's all you have to do. I would also suggest moving this up to size 12. Okay, so going back, highlighting and making that size 12 just makes it a little easier to read. All right, so now we all look the same. All right, if you have any questions, go back and watch this video or ask me. Thanks.